Hi, welcome back. This is the third installment on the topic of dental insurance. So if you want to hear the full discussion and haven't, and you're picking it up here, I'd go back too and start there if you want to learn about dental insurance. And the titles say that for you, so no big deal. And again, I will rewind slightly so we get a running start of it and continue on. The laser is a better way to go, but now that I know that the insurance companies will not cover it, I don't have to then create a false fee, personal fee for that. That's trying to get the insurance company to do anything. I can now actually drop my fee down to what's realistic. And so I can discount myself because I know the insurance company is not going to cover it. The benefit to patients on something like that is that they're going to get the laser at a very reasonable fee. And if they have dental insurance, they're going to probably max that out and use it elsewhere anyway, because as I've said, insurance companies really haven't changed in decades over their maximums. The one thing that Bonnie and Tiffany said that they would give as their primary tip to patients is they would have you go to the website of the insurance company and read your booklet. Classically, people have been given booklets, and if you signed up for a company to be an employee, there is a booklet. Probably in HR, human resources, if you're in a big company, would have booklets. But frankly, today, all of it's online. So all you have to do is go to the website and type in your policy and your name, and you probably can enter and read the booklet. And if it's under Perio coverage or whatever, you can find things out about that. Now, there's a problem, and the problem is that they can tell you in a booklet that something is covered. For example, you might go to the booklet and it'll say Perio is covered at whatever percent under your policy. Let's say they cover 80% of it. Okay. What they're not telling you is when they cover the 80%. There might be things on a particular code where they'll cover it in some circumstances, but not in others. We can even run pre-authorizations on care, which frankly we're doing now a lot. If a person isn't coming in pain and there's no emergency or urgency to the care, that we couldn't hold off a few weeks, we're finding that the turnaround on the pre-authorization is usually 2 to 3 weeks. So Bonnie will submit for pre-authorization on a treatment plan, and then the insurance company will come back with the pre-authorization, what they will cover and what they won't. Now, what is written on their pre-authorization always is the statement that this isn't a promise. We will only pay based upon the procedure at the time it's submitted, which means they reserve the right to change their minds and not cover something. So there's always that risk, and the reason what usually comes back is that this code is not covered because some things were not done in some particular way they wanted it under their policy, and therefore they're denying care. And that's what they do. That's their business model, frankly. They're in the business to deny as much care, reduce their costs as much as possible. And here's the thing that people need to know. If you are acquainted with your booklet, that's number one, and you know the company's website, then you have more clout with that company than the dental office does. So if we go back to a tooth has 4 parts, if you've gone into my explanation of periodontal disease for the patient, which we call a tooth has 4 parts, I break out what my responsibilities are and what the patient's responsibilities are. And I say that I have 2 jobs and the patient has 2 jobs. My 2 jobs are dealing with evaluating and making sure things are working as they should be, and I treat diseases in ways that somebody cannot do for themselves. So that's kind of what I do. The patient's jobs are 2. One is daily plaque control, which includes everything a person should be doing to help themselves stay healthy on a daily basis. And I've said in other places that if we come up with a better term than plaque control, it's just daily activities. But I like plaque control because I want people to be thinking about their mouths when we're talking about it, because that's the area that benefits them the best in my particular part of their body. But if I were the internist, the cardiologist, whatever, I'd be talking about daily heart management. I'd be talking about daily diabetes management, whatever. So all of us, all healthcare providers, will be saying that the patient's daily life activities, habits, and all of those things are critical. And what I say is that it's 80-20, the opposite of what people come in believing, and that is that 20% of the effects on their body they control, and 80% somebody else controls. And what I'm wanting people to know is that it's the opposite, that 80% of the outcome of your care will be what you decide to do for yourself in the 2 activities, which are daily plaque control and appointment management. Now, under appointment management, that means you're responsible for coming in and having care done that you can't do for yourself on an interval that makes sense based upon whatever problems that you have, whatever areas of medicine and dentistry that involves. But those are things that you need to do for yourself. Others cannot do those for you. Well, there's an 80-20 also in the area of dental insurance and medical insurance, for that matter. And that is that patients believe, just on the outset, it just seems like it should be, that 80% of the control of what the dental insurance company will do is under the medical people. In other words, the office's effect on getting the insurance company to act is stronger by far than the patient's, and it's the complete opposite. The patient, with regards to the insurance company, is the customer. And not only that, the patient has clout because as an employee, he or she can complain to the employer, and the employer can then decide, I'm not going to use this insurance company anymore, and I will move and switch. Now, all of a sudden, you have the insurance company's attention. When the customer's not happy, the insurance company responds. When the dental office isn't happy, they don't care, because it doesn't have anything to do if they pay or they don't pay. They're not connected to the dental office in the same way they are with the customer. So that's the difference. And so when you, as the customer, become involved, we have seen insurance companies who have denied care that we have submitted, and the patient has then taken it on, called the company, complained, talked about their policies, talked about their companies, etc., and all of a sudden they're paying it. So it is something that if you, as the patient, want the insurance companies to cover it, especially if there's a pre-authorization, and then they come back to deny it, well, at that point, I'm done, because I've done everything I can do through my office people to get the insurance company to commit to whatever they're supposed to do. And beyond that, there is nothing there that means that if I continue to submit, they're going to change their minds. They won't. So I can submit the same thing over and over and make new justifications. It doesn't really matter. Consequently, under the agreements that offices have with patients, you're billed. Your responsibility is to cover the cost of care of anything the insurance company doesn't cover. But what I'm saying is, if you then complain to that insurance company that this isn't fair and you had been led to believe something else was going to occur, they can respond to you and will make adjustments. And that's it for today, and more on this topic next time. Thanks for listening.